Ever wonder why seed oils are in absolutely everything that we eat? From healthy snacks to your favorite restaurant meals, these oils have become a modern day staple for just about everybody. But their history is far from benign, and their impact on your health might be more detrimental than you think. Join me as I uncover the surprising origins of seed oils, how they conquered our kitchens, and the science behind why they could be silently sabotaging your well-being. Right here on the Carnivore Science Channel. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm Liz. I'm a medical technologist and pharmaceutical chemist with over 30 years of experience in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. I'm also a carnivore. I have been since November of 2022. I was 100 pounds overweight with a laundry list of medical conditions that no other diet could fix. Carnivore resolved everything. The purpose of today's video is to do a deeper dive into the greatest bait and switch in our global food supply over the last 100 years that created a $100 billion industry. Years ago, we switched out a very common type of food eaten for thousands of years in favor of something foreign to the human diet, replacing animal fats with seed oils. Why did we do this? Well, sadly, it was a direct result of corporate greed, hubris, and elaborate advertising campaigns. Corporate greed and advertising are concepts we are all too familiar with. The hubris part, well, you ever heard that saying, just because you can do a thing doesn't necessarily mean you should? Well, that applies to this. So what are seed oils? The simple, most basic answer is that seed oils are processed oils industrially extracted from mostly genetically modified crops. But for most of human history, we consumed 0 grams of vegetable or seed oils. Now we consume on average a whopping 80 grams per day, making it the single greatest change to human nutrition in history. Speaking of history, let's take a look at how this all started. The year is 1829. When producing cotton, the seeds were considered garbage, and they were discarded as such. A method of extraction was developed so the seeds could be processed and the oil taken out. The cottonseed oil was used to fuel lamps and lubricate machinery. Yummy, right? But fast forward to 1837, where William Proctor, a candle maker from England, and James Gamble, a soap maker from Ireland, headed to the United States. Not together, but around the same time. These two actually married sisters and became brothers-in-law, and they lived in Cincinnati, Ohio, where they founded a new joint venture named, you guessed it, Procter & Gamble. They established their business at a time when Cincinnati was a major center for hog butchering, providing readily available source of animal fats, which was the main ingredient for both candles and soap. Fun fact, actually, back in the day when animal fats were in big demand, they'd break down pigs on a slaughterhouse disassembly line. This process was later reverse engineered by Henry Ford to make cars on an assembly line. Just interesting. But like I said, these animal fats were in big demand and they became really expensive. The animal fats also happened to be a key ingredient in soap, like I had said, and it was half of P&G's business. So they set out to discover a lower cost alternative. Enter cottonseed oil. At that time, cottonseed oil was mainly viewed as a waste product, but P&G saw a business opportunity. Use literal trash, cottonseed oil to make cheaper soap. And later, you guessed it, cooking oil. Surprisingly enough, feeding this industrial lubricant to the population was not the mother of all bad ideas. It was when they actually started to chemically alter it into something resembling lard. They called it Crisco because they said it was crisp and fresh and clean. Yum. After some clever marketing hacks, it quickly became a staple of the American diet. Popular Science did an article from that time, and they summed up the evolution of cottonseed. What was garbage in 1860 was fertilizer in 1870, cattle feed in 1880, and table food in 1890. Just consider that for a moment. Procter & Gamble bought patent rights and started mass producing the new cottonseed oil formula, known today as hydrogenated vegetable oil, selling to home cooks as a replacement for animal fats. But they still needed to create more demand, so they hired America's first full-service ad agency, J. Walter Thompson Agency. They started an OG growth hacking campaign. No company had ever put as much advertising dollars behind a product. They ran 8 marketing strategies staffed by real artists and actual professional writers. They flooded Americans with free samples, mailing to grocers, restaurants, and nutritionists. They fried donuts in Crisco and they handed them out in the streets. Sales boomed. As food production industrialized, other seed oils like corn and soybean oil followed suit. They were perfect for mass-produced processed food, extending shelf life and reducing cost. So, how did these industrial byproducts, originally destined for soap, end up as our dietary staple, even touted as healthy? The answer lies in the mid-20th century and the emerging understanding of heart disease. As heart disease rates started to climb, a prevailing theory emerged. Saturated fat and cholesterol were the villains. Never mind sugar, but that's a different video. This led to dietary guidelines recommending a reduction in animal fats and an increase in vegetable oils, including our now familiar seed oils. The narrative was very powerful. Switch from butter to margarine, from lard to vegetable oil, and protect your heart. Food companies already heavily invested in these cheap oils amplified the message. Fast forward to today, and seed oils are in everything. They're in your salad dressing, your processed snacks, your fast food, even your healthy granola bars. They are so deeply ingrained in our food system that avoiding them entirely can seem almost impossible. But here's where the plot thickens. While seed oils were being championed as healthy, a growing body of scientific evidence began to paint a very different picture. The core issue lies in their composition and how they're processed. Seed oils are incredibly high in polyunsaturated fatty acid, or PUFAs, specifically omega-6 fatty acids. While we need some omega-6, the problem arises when the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in our diet becomes wildly imbalanced. Our ancestors consumed roughly 1:1 to 4:1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. The modern Western diet, thanks largely to seed oils, can have ratios as high as 20:1 or even 50:1. This excessive omega-6 intake is pro-inflammatory. Chronic inflammation is a root cause of many modern diseases, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, certain cancers, autoimmune conditions, and even gut dysbiosis. Furthermore, seed oils are highly unstable. When exposed to heat, light, and air, as they are during processing, cooking, and even just sitting in your pantry shelf, they easily oxidize. This creates harmful compounds called aldehydes and other free radicals that damage cells and DNA. And let's not forget the processing itself. To extract oil from seeds, industrial methods often involve high heat, pressure, and chemical solvents like hexane. This harsh processing further degrades the oils and leaves behind undesirable residues. Compare this to traditional fats like butter, ghee, tallow, and coconut oil. These fats are much more stable, less prone to oxidation, and have very different fatty acid profiles that are more aligned with human health. Now, there's a decent amount of controversy about how bad they really are for us to consume. There are studies that show different outcomes. The climate is reminiscent of how the ad campaigns would do the whole eggs are good, eggs are bad, eggs are good, eggs are bad, coffee is good, coffee is bad, coffee is good, coffee is bad, blah, 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 blah. Everyone is always studying one thing or another, and the results are all over the place, funded by a lot of special interest also. But nutrition science is such an oxymoron. I swear, it's like riding an insane horse through a burning stable. But anyway, as far as evidence goes, there seems to be a lot of evidence that they cause more inflammation overall, and their instability is established science at this point. But I don't need more studies and trials, and I certainly don't need a doctor's recommendation. And it is for one very simple reason. I study history. I do so in order to avoid making extremely stupid decisions. And after I uncovered where all this crap came from, I came to the following conclusion. Since seed oils are not food, well, I just don't put them in my mouth. So how can you avoid this crap when it's everywhere you turn? Well, here's a few tips. Number one, read labels religiously. This is your number one tool. Look for soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and cottonseed oil. They're often hidden in unexpected places. Number two, cook at home more. This gives you complete control over the ingredients. Use healthier alternatives that have always been labeled as food, like butter and tallow and even coconut oil. Number three, choose whole, unprocessed foods. It doesn't matter if you're carnivore, vegan, whatever. Just stay away from the processed foods because there's a lot of hidden seed oils in those. And you're better off if you just eat whole foods that are actually defined as food and always have been. Number four, be wary of restaurant foods. Many restaurants, especially fast foods, they rely heavily on cheap seed oils for cooking. So ask what oil they're using if you actually are concerned or you go out to eat. The history of seed oils is fascinating, horrifying, and a cautionary tale of industrial innovation, marketing prowess, and unintended health consequences. By understanding their origins and impact, we can make a more conscious decision about what we put into our bodies. So, if it doesn't start out as food or it wasn't originally food, it's probably not food now, no matter what you do to it. That's something important to remember moving forward, I think. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, please do so. And let me know in the comments section what your thoughts are on seed oils. Have you tried reducing them? Do they bother you? They bother me. I know when I actually get a mouthful of them by accident because I feel it later. But let me know what your experience is. And I appreciate you guys for coming by. Thanks, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.